Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Eddie, weeks and weeks and weeks on the spin. You're probably delighted to not see my face anymore. You can go and have a little bit of a break.
I can't wait. I'm actually, the mad thing is that I've been ill for that 6-week run, and I actually feel a bit better today. And now I'm going to have a few days off, which is like, I don't really need them now. Just go straight back to work. But got a lot of work to do. And it was capped off by a great night in Detroit. Great energy in there, great main event, great card as well. I thought it was a real fun night of boxing.
I want to go into it, but first I need the Barber story from earlier because it's absolutely brilliant. So I've seen you earlier. You're running through with your suit in your running gear, and you've gone, "Oh, do you know any barbers?" I've gone, "No, obviously not, Edward." You've gone to a barber's. Go on, hit us with a story.
So I left the hotel, and I thought I need to go and get this ironed because it was in the right state. And I need the barnet cut, right? And I thought I'll just go for a wander. So I went for a wander with the suit in my hand, hung up, and it started pouring down with rain. About 5 minutes later, I see you I don't know where we were, downtown Detroit somewhere. Went to one barber's, then found a little Dominican barber's right in the mix of things, and ended up there. But as I was on the way there, Master Dorian, right? I sent him an Instagram message and I said, "Any chance of fitting me in today?" Then I phoned the barber shop and they said, "We're absolutely packed." And then I was like, oh. So this was like 5-10 minute drive away. So I got Mike Turbo, Man Like Turbo, to pick me up in the old Escalade, right? Went down there. I said, "Turbo, the thing is, it's rammed in there. I'm not sure I'm going to get in." He went, "Don't worry." He went, "Just give them $20, like they'll fit you in." So I was like, all right then. So then walked in there. As I went to walk in, Turbo went, no, let me park the Escalade right out the front. I'll open the door and then I'll walk in with you like a security and they'll think we need to fit him in. Yeah, so we did all that. No one paid any attention. Walked in there, there's like 8 barber chairs, all full. And there's like 10 people waiting, right? So I'm thinking I'm wasting my time. So I've gone in there in my Nike running gear, right? And I've gone, "Any chance of fitting me in, lads?" And it's like tumbleweed. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's just gone, no. I'm like, "Oh, who's Master Dorian?" And this geezer's like gone, "Yeah, that's me." I went, "Master Dorian?" I went, "Any chance of fitting me in?" He went, "No." I went, "I sent you a message on your Instagram, have a look." I went, "I'll sit over there."
He's gone and used the blue tick.
When he sat down, and he's like, "Yo, Eddie, I'll fit you in after this one." I was like, sweet. 1.3 million followers, lovely. Still had to pay for my haircut, by the way. But it was absolutely fantastic.
And now you're off to the Caribbean with a nice little trim.
I mean, look, lovely jubbly. Let's get out in some sunboy for a couple of days. No, it was a great experience. I've loved the week. I've loved the run. And Master Dorian, shout out, top barber.
Alycia Baumgardner, we got to be sort of starting to push her up onto the pound for pound rankings now. What a great performance. Only pro defeat. We know that Linardatou can be a real handful. I think the first thing that you said was, what a tough fucker. That she is.
Unbelievable. I mean, Linardatou beats 99% of them out there, from super featherweight all the way up to light welterweight, maybe to welterweight. Super tough. And Alycia Baumgardner, I mean, technically she's so good, but her balance and the way she throws her punches and the spite that she throws her punches with is so good to watch for women's boxing, because you don't see a lot of stoppages, and you would have seen a lot more tonight if it wasn't Linardatou. But the body punching and the way they were trading up, it was just a brilliant fight. And time again, aren't we? We're seeing such great women's fights. And we need to deliver her the big fights, the big money now. Like, you know, it's great doing these defences and coming home and picking up the undisputed title. I want Amanda Serrano. I think Amanda Serrano is such an incredible champion. Alycia Baumgardner, incredible champion. That fight between those two huge punchers as well, I think it's a showstopper. Or the winner of Taylor Cameron as well. Alycia can go up even to 140. So massive fights out there for her. I thought it was a great performance.
How cool is Andy Cruz?
Andy Cruz is super cool. Do you know the one thing that is like, I guess you should just come to expect it. 1 second.
That was so smooth. It's like a little substitution.
One thing you should come to expect is like you look at Twitter after say, Andy Cruz, it's a little bit boring. It's like Lou DiBella's out there going, not for me, not my cup of tea. Yeah, not much. I mean, if you had the chance to sign him, you wouldn't sign him, would you? Andy Cruz.
You mate when people say stuff.
Andy Cruz has just had his professional debut. He's boxed a 10-rounder. He's gone 10 rounds with Burgos in an all-action fight. He's hardly got hit. He's won every round. His movement, his shot selection. He hurt Burgos. He was aggressive. All of these things. Imagine if you would have gone out and had a 6-rounder tonight against a Muppet. Imagine the abuse you'd get in the stick. You can't win either way. So this kid is an outstanding talent. I thought it was a great performance, and those 10 rounds under the belt will mean that he can move forward in a tougher fight next time. I thought it was a great performance.
You've got people that will always say something anyway, right? But this guy's a 2-time gold medalist, one of the most decorated amateurs of our generation. That was a mad gulp, that. One of the most decorated amateurs of our generation. Why hate on him?
Why what?
Hate on him.
It's life, mate. It's life. We live in a world of opinions, and everybody's got an opinion. I mean, just scroll through Twitter tonight. You got Josh Kelly fighting, you got Kingpyn, and we got this fight, and that's just on Dazn. And it's just opinion after opinion, and that's what life's. I mean, these people deserve an opinion. That's what the platforms are for, and everyone's got their different opinions. But I think sometimes they're just not either valid or neutral. That's the difference. And when you actually break it down and realise what Andy Cruz has done tonight, this kid's going to be an outstanding fighter.
Just finally on this card, Jermaine Franklin against Isaac Munoz. Everyone's saying bring Munoz back. Could he be a cool little addition to your Mexican stable? And also, is he albino?
Random question. I've absolutely no idea what qualifies that. I don't even know if that's a thing. Is it? I mean, anyway. So, I loved Munoz. Loved him. I mean, one, his chin is unbelievable. Two, his engine, I thought he was going to fade after 2 or 3 rounds. I think if he gets himself a little bit fitter, I think he's going to be, I'm not saying he's going to be a danger to the elite guys, but I think he can have some really good fights with contenders. I thought Jermaine boxed really well, tired a little bit. He did have short notice for this fight, but he's a very good heavyweight, and I think he's going to be in big fights as well.
I believe Jermaine's a free agent now. Will you explore working with him?
Yeah, I just spoke to Dimitri. He said, would you like to work with him? I said, of course. But, I think he's going to get a lot of offers. When you've boxed AJ and Dillian White and gone 12 rounds with him, someone like Jared Anderson, if I'm top rank, I'm looking at Jermaine Franklin and thinking that's a good opponent for Jared Anderson. I think it's a tough fight for him.
Moving forward, the schedule, we're eagerly awaiting it. I suppose just firstly the undercard on Joshua White too. When will that be announced? And then when do we get this schedule? We know a lot of fights in the pipeline. Yesterday, you said a fight's been signed off. Is that Wood Warrington?
It's one of the headline fights from the schedule, which everyone keeps saying. When is this? I keep saying to you, not this week coming. The week after. That's what we're shooting for. This week is all about getting everything signed, getting everything geared up, and trying to be able to announce in the back end of the week after. Again, if it doesn't happen, I'm sorry. If it's a couple of days after that, we'll see. The AJ undercard will be announced in full next week. Obviously, Johnny Fisher and Philip Hergovich, Dempsey McKean already. Looks like Derek Chisora could be a part of that card as well. So it could be 4 big heavyweight fights. And looking forward to it. Looking forward to not having a show so we can just crack on in the office and just get everything planned for that really busy schedule.
Just finally from me, there was a very bizarre instance on the Kingpyn show where a fighter decided to get her boobs out after the victory. This was supposedly cleared off by Kingpyn. We know that there's a lot of these sort of OnlyFans stars and stuff fighting on these shows. What do you make of it live on Dazn? Not a great look?
Yeah, I think that I think if I start preaching, people just moan at me anyway. But you always ask me my opinion. My opinion is I hate it. I hate it. We've worked so hard for women in boxing to be respected for their ability, for their merits, for their hard work. One thing we must understand is that ain't boxing. And that needs to be pushed. All that stuff, misfits, kingpins, it needs to be booted so far away from professional boxing. And we really need to, disassociate ourselves with what it is. it does great numbers. It's entertainment. It's all of those things. And what we saw there tonight, yeah, look, for me, what I'm trying to do and what we've been doing for years and years and what the sacrifices people have made to be respected, but again, it's not boxing, but at the same time, like, I think it's more a reflection of society than a reflection of good or bad for boxing. I don't like it. I thought I saw it, and, you know, the problem today is you want kids to have great role models, right? I have 2 daughters. When my daughters spend time or have met Katie Taylor, it is the greatest thing that I could ever see. Them looking at a female who has achieved so much and shown them that anything's possible. Even when everything's stacked against you, anything's possible. So I think what we're lacking in society at the moment is role models. And unfortunately, we now live in a world where role models or influencers are not necessarily doing things that the older generation, which I class myself as, or a parent, would want your kids to see or think is acceptable. Nothing to do with women, nothing to do with men. You want your kids to behave in a certain way. That's not a way that you'd want your kids to behave, in my opinion. This is only my opinion. But we live in a fucking mental world. And unfortunately, clout is just being chased all over the place, and, you know, each to their own. Like, that's her world. I'm not sitting here going, it's disgusting, but not for me.
The zone have to be firm on making sure an occurrence like that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I think, you know, where does it stop? You know, that's why, like, with the whole influencer stuff, like, you know, it's tag team this, and then it's like a 4-man Royal Rumble, and then you got that tonight. It's just fucking mental. But that's why you need to boot it as far away from as possible. Because I love a pound note. You will never, ever, ever see me involved with that sort of stuff.
Edward, thank you very much for your time.